ever wondered why European semi-trucks may be had with such powerful engines as the Volvo D16K with 750 horsepower and 3,550 Nm, and the Scania V8 with 770 horsepower and 3,700 Nm, while American engines only have a maximum of about 605 horsepower and 2,780 Nm? Let's look at some of the reasons why truck engines in Europe are a little bigger and more powerful than those in the US, even though trucks are so much bigger. Keep watching if you want to know the answer. You will be amazed by the reasons. To be clear, trucks don't actually need so much horsepower. Instead, the amount of torque the engine can create is essential to transporting heavy weights, which is why European trucks have such large engines. The crankshaft of an engine produces torque, a rotational force that is measured in pounds per foot in the United States and in Newton meters in the European Union. The more torque an engine produces, the more work it can accomplish. A European semi-truck can only be 18.75 meters, or about 61 feet. Meanwhile, American trucks can tow multiple trailers at a time. Because of these restrictions, European trucks have to be smaller, so they can tow more cargo. PACCAR Detroit is one of the 4 major engine producers in the US. The most popular engine in the US is the Detroit DD15, a 14.8-liter inline-6 engine that has 505 horsepower and 1,750 pound-feet of torque, and is used on the truck brands Freightliner and Western Star. The majority of US engines are 12 to 15-liter engines with between 400 and 550 horsepower. The US trucking industry also uses a lot of Caterpillar truck engines, but they stopped producing highway engines in 2010 as a result of the stringent emission. The brands MAN DAF Scania in Europe DAF drives with a PACCAR engine. Volvo Mack and Renault also share engine parts and technologies. Detroit is owned by the Daimler Group, which also owns Mercedes-Benz, and the Triton Group owns both MAN and Scania, which will have a shared engine at the end of 2024. Therefore, the various engines probably share more parts and technologies than you might think, and the difference between them is just how they operate. The world's strongest inline-6 engine, the Volvo D16K, with 750 horsepower and 3,550 Nm, is available on the Volvo F8 models. The even more powerful Scania V8, the strongest truck engine made in Europe, is also an option on the European market, with 770 horsepower and 3,700 Nm. Volvo and Scania are distinguishing themselves from other brands with their massive engines. Now that you are more aware of the differences between the types of engines used in the EU and the US, let's go on to discuss why these large engines are not marketed in the United States. One reason why American cars don't have engines with more than 600 horsepower is that such a high level of power is just unnecessary. There's no need for larger engines due to the weight regulations, as they can perform the required work with less horsepower and Newton meters. The federal weight limit for a semi-truck in the US is 80,000 pounds or 36 tons, which is a 500 horsepower engine with 2,500 Newton meters easily pulls through the American roads. It's a little different in Europe because there are 27 distinct nations which naturally have varied functions. In Sweden, a truck can have a maximum weight of 60 tons or up to 90 tons in particular circumstances, and they are experimenting with 90 tons. Do you love such powerful engines? Then make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. Depending on the type of driving vehicle and number of axles, most countries have a maximum weight of about 40 to 44 tons. However, many of these countries also have special rules that allow an increase in the weight. Because of the high total weights and the steep terrain climbs, a bigger and more powerful engine is required to pull the heavy load up the hills. A lesser engine simply cannot transport as much weight in this case. Using an engine like the 16.1-liter Volvo engine with 750 horsepower and 3,550 Newton meters, or the even larger 16.4-liter Scania engine with 770 horsepower and 3,700 Newton meters may be necessary. The last factor that needs to be considered is that truck drivers in the EU care a lot about the reputation and appearance of their trucks. They modify them, paint them in distinctive colors, and make other significant modifications to make the truck stand out. It is important for them to have a nice-looking and distinctive truck, which also includes driving a truck with a lot of horsepower, even though they might not need the extra power. There are many V8 enthusiasts who also care about this. In addition, if you want to advance in life, don't forget to show us some love by hitting the like and subscribe icons. So which engine do you think is the best in the world? Let us know in the comments. And with that said, thank you for watching. See you in the next video.